Well, hey, what's up, man?
Hey,
I'm happy to be here. Are you happy to be here?
I'm mesmerized by your shoes.
Thanks, man. I appreciate them.
They are so clean looking. Like, it looks like you took them out of the box today for the first time.
I haven't worn them in a little while.
They look beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very clean, very fresh looking.
I thought I'd bring them out today.
You know how it feels when you've got a mint in your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you look today.
Thanks, bro.
You look like how a mint feels.
Much appreciated, man. Well, hey, we are here for another episode of the Don't Wrestle Your Neighbor Morning Show podcast. And today is Topical Monday. And Evan and I we just recently watched something.
We're about to get topical.
That we want to talk about. And some of you have never seen this before, but I love to watch.
I feel like this is something we can recommend.
Yes, we can for sure recommend this. But I love watching like adrenaline junkies, like, and them do things that they like skydiving, because it's like the opposite of what I will ever do.
You know, I think that's all well and good, the idea of an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
Like, in general.
In general.
But specifically, climbers.
Climbers, yes.
That
extreme hikers, like those guys.
Fascinating.
And women are, because there's some women that we don't really get into that with what we're going to talk about, but there were some people who were up there on Everest, and it was like, dang, you are insane. But
I truly believe they are some of the most elite athletes that we have.
I mean, I don't think, I think that is easily, it'd be hard to argue.
But I think they're overlooked a lot because I don't think people think of them.
Well, because it's one of the only things out there that you are like, what did he say about? Well, what we're going to talk about is 14 Peaks.
Yeah,
which
the movie
is a
that just came
documentary on a guy. What is his name?
They call him Nims.
They call him Nims
in the documentary. That's not his full name.
Yeah, his full name, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but
he's from Nepal.
His Instagram handle, I think, is Nimsdia. It's like Nims.
Oh yeah, I meant to follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, I had to the other day. When I fished, and I was like, "Yep, you deserve a follow from me."
Oh yeah,
yeah. But they call him Nims, and it's about this guy who is trying to break the world record of climbing the 14
tallest mountains
peaks
in the world.
Yeah,
over 8,000 meters.
Right. Yeah, which is crazy because like I was in Denver, like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And there are mountains in Denver that are really, really tall. At least they seem really, really tall. And they are like upwards of 12,000, 13,000 feet. So these peaks that he's climbing are 29,000 feet. 3
times that.
Right. So it's like 8,000 meters is equivalent to about 29,000 feet. So it's like 3 times the mountains that I was staring at that I was like getting like altitude sickness from. This dude, where there's like 6% oxygen up there. This guy is trying to break the world record.
Yeah. He broke 6 world records.
Yeah, he had he was trying to break all these records of how fast he could do it. So before
there's no doubt this guy is, I feel like he's the best alpinist in the world.
No, and I think
alpine climber,
which is so interesting about the documentary. And you know, we want you to go watch it. It's called 14 Peaks. It just came out on Netflix. It is absolutely
and it's not very long either. It's like
it's like
not a huge time commitment.
Yeah. And so you have this guy who's trying to break the record for climbing these 14 peaks. The previous person had climbed these 14 peaks in 16 years.
7 years.
7 years?
The fastest anyone has ever done it.
Right. But what was the 16 year? That was someone did it in 16 years.
That was the first guy to do it.
First guy did it in 16 years.
And he did it with no oxygen whatsoever.
It took him 16 years to do it with zero oxygen help. Then the record is 7 years.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
the fastest anyone's done it.
Nims set out to do it in 7 months.
7 months.
Right. Which is insane.
Yeah.
And another thing about this guy is he sets out he only is going to use oxygen when he gets above 8,000
in the
meters.
Death zone.
Right. Which is like 6,000% oxygen, which it's like
just for reference, the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest, is like 85.
It was like
100.
Yeah.
So he's doing
500.
Practically all of the
95%
climbing with no oxygen.
Yeah.
Like, because the death zone is above Is it 8,000 or
8,000
6,000?
feet is
yeah,
what
the
they
death zone is above
consider the
8,000.
death zone.
So yeah, he's doing all of the climbing without oxygen,
which is just insane because a lot of the time he's attached to a couple of other guys at the same time, but he's leading them. And so there's a point which, like, we want you to go watch this documentary because it's amazing.
We don't want to ruin it.
We don't want to ruin it, but it's also just fascinating.
We don't want to ruin it, but it's awesome.
But there's a point where was it K2 that they were struggling, that there was a group of people that were struggling to get up?
Yeah, I think it was that one or the other.
And he was
I can't remember the name.
He has to go up basically by himself and like set the lines so that all these other people can make it up.
Yeah, I believe that was K2.
This mountain, and it's like
they were like, it can't be done.
It can't be done.
And he was like, yeah.
It
can be.
Like, it's all mental. You guys are saying that it can't be done. I'm going to show you it can be done. And he goes and
they were all so like, who is this guy?
Right. Who is this guy? Because he comes in so positive. Yeah. And it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we're fine. We're going to do it tonight. We're at 1 a.m. We're going to be up there and I'm going to set the lines for you.
And his plan was genius.
Yeah.
They couldn't get up because the snow was melting and falling
by
down.
the time that they were going up.
And so he went at the coldest point when the snow would be hard.
Right.
And got up at 1 a.m.
Yeah, got up at 1 a.m.
Super cold.
But there's also this, like, I think the reason why I loved watching this so much is because there's an understanding that this guy has, like, and even his wife talks about it often.
Yeah.
I mean, at any moment in time, he could easily die. And there's a moment where he's like, this is it. Like, we won't ruin it too much for you.
He's so positive where it's just like, he'll say stuff like, I'm not going to die today. Like, I won't, no matter what.
Right.
I'm not dying today.
But
maybe
today
tomorrow.
I'm not dying. Yeah.
But today.
That's just like the psyche of a person does that. And I think his background, which we can talk about.
Well, he's already made up his mind.
Right.
Like, that's the thing with his mental state. He already made up his mind that he's doing it. It's not a matter of if anymore.
Right.
He can get it done. It's already done in his mind.
I'm not dying today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. Yeah, I think what's
It's
super
crazy.
interesting we can talk about is his training. His wife said for this guy to be as crazy as he was, as like, I mean, to do some amazing things. This guy every morning in preparation was running 20 kilometers, which is basically 12 and a half miles.
This was in preparation. This was in preparation for the British Special Forces.
Right. Right.
So he was a Gurkha, which is a Nepalese military, like special person. I guess that's a very rare thing to accomplish.
Right.
And so then from there, he was going on to the British Special Services or Special Forces. And so then training for that, he woke up at 3
a.m.
So how many miles is that?
So 20 kilometers is basically 12 and a half miles.
12 and a half miles with 75 pounds strapped to your back.
Every day. At 3 a.m.
Whoa, man.
So he was doing that.
Wow.
And then he would run that, which I don't know how long it would take him. She didn't say how long it took her husband to do that. But then he would go straight to work. And then after work, he would go straight to the gym and he would get home at like 11 p.m. And then would do it again the next day.
From 11 to 3.
I mean, like, it's insane.
It just goes to show, I feel like, how it really made me feel like, oh, man, I complain about being tired sometimes.
It made me feel very lazy.
I was like, man, the human body. I do genuinely believe, though, that this guy, he whether through environmental circumstances, like there's something in his DNA. There's something like,
for sure. Well, even when he does that oxygen test, that's not normal.
And some of that's environmental because he spends so much time at high altitude that he's just like, that's what he's able to do.
There are some barriers in which, like, some people are a little bit more susceptible to. Yeah. And I think genes, environment, training.
He has a gift. Yeah, it's a gift for sure.
Because I don't remember exactly what the test was, but they put him through like this cyclist test and like the amount of
I remember that they put him at 6,000 feet and he rode a bike for as hard as he could for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, and most people.
And they said that
90
Olympic level cyclists usually tap out at about 90 seconds,
which is just, I mean,
and he went for double that time.
Which I don't know. A part of me just feels that at a certain point, for him, it's all willpower. Like, a part of me feels that at 90 seconds, he's struggling.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just him pushing himself.
He refuses to quit. Yeah, he will not quit.
Yeah,
it's really, really, really fascinating. I would recommend going to check it out, if nothing else, just to see.
Well, just to get encouragement. I think that's what his whole thing was. Is he wanted to encourage people, but I think also mainly he wants to encourage, his community. So the Nepalese, is that what they would be referred as? Nepalese, yeah. And so the people of Nepal, I think he was really wanting to encourage them, but also to show like a person from Nepal could do something amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I think just broadly the feat that you can accomplish whenever you have a good team around you.
Right.
And what a human being is capable of.
Mm-hmm. Like, with good psyche, with good people around them, and no quit.
If nothing else, it's just a great watch because it's an incredible athlete, like genuinely making history. Mm-hmm. Like it's like Serena Williams winning the 20th Grand Slam or whatever. It's like it's an amazing athlete making history.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's like he sets out to do it for 7 months, and we'll let you kind of figure out what ends up happening at the end. But I mean, at the beginning, you're like, man, he's doing this too fast. Something bad is about to happen.
My gosh, I know. He climbs 3 in 48 hours.
Yeah.
3 8,000 meter peaks in 48 hours.
Not only does he climb 3 in 48 hours, he climbs 2, and on the way down from the third, he saved
like 2 people's lives in the course of making this documentary.
Also, one of them didn't make it. But.
One of them, well, yeah, but there's not much he could do about that.
Right, I know. It's just so crazy because I think it was Everest, right? It was Everest or K2.
Everest he didn't have a hard time with.
Right, but I'm saying I think it was like 1 of every 8 that attempt to go up don't come down.
No. It was, I don't know if that was Everest.
It was one of the mountains.
One of them that I hadn't heard of, but is apparently like one of the most difficult.
Yes.
The stat was for every 3 that make it up and back down, 1 dies trying.
So I think it might have been
so basically 1 out of every 4 people that
it might have been one of the mountains in Nepal.
Yeah, I think
because it had a different name that we wouldn't probably understand.
Yeah,
so it wasn't 1 in 8.
It was one of the names that I hadn't heard of.
So basically 1 in 4. Or 1 in 3. So 1 does not come down when 3 go up. Like 3.
Yeah.
That's.
So, 1 in 4.
That is like. I can't wrap my mind around that.
It's so dangerous. And he would just go at it like it was a walk in the park. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Right. Well, and I think it is super essential for him to have the team in which he had around him. To be.
Yeah.
Like oh man, they're very trusting. Like they know each other. Like they talk, they communicate really well. They have fun.
And just elite level. I mean,
right?
Yeah, crazy.
Well, and it's interesting.
Well, and it's like we were talking about like the gift, like the natural gifting part of it. Mm-hmm. Another great climbing documentary is Free Solo.
Yeah,
it's Alex Honnold climbs El Cap in Yosemite with no ropes,
which is insane.
And they did like a brain scan on him to see like what lights up his brain with like fear or anxiety or like, gets his brain going. Because usually if a normal person stands on the edge of a cliff and looks down
or looks up at a cliff,
you're going to your brain's going to light up like, whoa, I don't want to fall. Like
I was at 5,000 feet climbing one weekend. I thought I was about to die.
Yeah. So usually your brain will light up, and they did this brain scan on him and it was nothing. Like his brain didn't like do anything.
No waiver.
No, like whenever he was like put in like a fear situation or anything like that, they found out that his brain has a much higher threshold.
Did they have it like, I haven't seen Free Solo. I need to watch it. How did they?
You'll love it.
Well, did they depict or figure out what the cause of that is? Like there has to be something
I think they thought it's partially him,
just who he is,
but also that he spent so many years doing this.
Right. It's now
that it's not
right.
It doesn't really affect him the same as a normal person.
Well, in the situation, so like Kobe Bryant in
where
particular.
It's like training your body to play basketball. It's Kobe training Bryant, your mind as well.
The game-winning shot. He's not fearful taking that shot. He's done it so many times. At the end of the day, it is a level of like, I'm either going to make this or I'm going to miss this.
Muscle memory. Yeah. Right. You're not scared. It's just, you're not
a level of fear there where in most people it'd be like, oh, I'm going to shoot short here because I'm nervous, or I'm going to shoot this way harder than I need to because I'm nervous or afraid of what happens if I miss. So
there's an element of training, but also like
crazy.
Just who you are.
That's so
born,
crazy.
Like born just gifting, Yeah. But no, it's a really, really interesting documentary to watch, just to see an elite athlete do what they do
you
best.
add the element of his mom too, like, you know, I love those things where you see a person who is top notch,
Yeah.
but also has the values to know who he truly is. You know, sometimes you see these people who like are super gifted and like do these incredible things, but they kind of lose themselves in that. To watch him get and reach his dreams and what he wanted for not only himself, but for his community and for his family, but also be like, hey, if something else happens here, this project's over. Like, I know what's most important to me.
Right.
And my dreams are second to whatever is most important in this situation, which is super like,
right.
I feel like that's different. That's not a,
well, and just like they mention it in the documentary, but I think it's a little understated. Like, they don't go really, really into it, but like, he was going against a lot of what his family wanted.
right.
And he was
almost all of it.
He was risking everything.
Right.
For this.
Well,
and just like you say, it was inspirational, and in that way it is extremely inspirational. Like, this guy had a dream, he had a goal, and he went after it with everything that he had, and like, he put it all on the line to accomplish like his dream, and like, that's commendable.
Well, and he basically had to give his own money because he's raising money, he's raising funds to go do this trip, and so if he fails, like, I mean, he's at a loss there.
Oh, man.
But also the amount of money he was making, I don't know how much money he was making in the military, but his brother comes on and he's like, hey, we need you to stay on for a little bit longer because we need the pension. We need the,
for their family,
for their
because
family
in
money,
in their culture, the youngest takes care of
mom.
parents.
And so it was so fascinating because there's a pretty good tension, but he's like, I got to do this. And then you see his mom who's like, finish this. Like, go follow what you feel you've been called to do. And I'm going to be here and nothing's taking me away from this. So it is so good. And I think it is one of the best, like, stories that I've kind of gotten to watch, documentaries that I've gotten to watch about, a person's dreams. But also seeing like his wife, and his wife said, she was like, I can't worry. Like, she was like, I'll keep myself up at night if I just simply am worrying. And I think also you begin to kind of see that, and she kind of has begun to take on his mentality a little bit, to where it's like fear kind of really wrecks you if you let it. And
to this guy, it's like fear is just a abstract concept,
right?
Where it's
right. It's like, what is fear?
Well, and he said, like, I don't have fear.
Right.
Like,
I
don't have any fear.
Me? There's no reason for me to, which like we could literally switch over to Tick Tick Boom real quick on fear. Like, are you going to choose fear or love? And like, or for this guy, for Nims, it's like, it's fear or dreams.
Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. So he's literally on this mountain, and there's a scene, and once again, we want you to go watch this, but there's a scene where he is like, you can see he audibly says, for the first time, I didn't think this dream was possible. Yeah. And he literally just like puts his head down, and he treks right back up the mountain. And I got goosebumps.
I mean, there's no better metaphor for overcoming challenge than climbing a mountain. Like,
right. I mean, literally, you're like, like as a pastor, literally, I feel like I use that illustration. There's going to be mountains. You got to climb over, right? Yeah. You got the Miley Cyrus, right? There's always going to be another mountain. Like, it's literally the greatest illustration ever. And this guy is like, this is my mountain, 14 peaks. Like, I'm going to do this no matter what anyone tells me. Because literally every climber, what do they call themselves? Mountaineers? Is that what they call them?
Alpinist, I think is what he would be called.
They're all like, you're crazy. You're not gonna do this.
They
like,
really were.
Doing it in 7 years is a great feat.
No one believed that he could do it. No one believed he could do it.
Literally, other than himself.
Only
I don't even know that his team believed that they could do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they just trusted him.
I don't know. Yeah.
Or even like his leadership ability, where he's struggling internally. Yeah. And he's like, sometimes as a leader, you have to decide when in which you can tell your team what you're dealing with. And I mean, this dude is like, he just fell down a mountain.
Yeah.
He just fell 100 feet down the mountain, like free falling, and luckily is able to survive.
Like, well, made it through that. And on to the next one.
We're going to go climb the rest of this mountain tomorrow.
Well, we need to get to our fact. Probably. Right, I think we could go on for a long time. But the end of the day is that we watched that documentary. We loved it.
I know.
We were inspired by it.
So inspired. And it was fantastic.
It was super cool, and you all should go watch it so we can talk about it.
Anyway, fact of the day. We're going Christmas facts for the rest of the season.
Oh, Christmas facts for the rest of the season.
Some sense of a Christmas fact.
Okay.
And this one is in particular is about a Christmas song that everyone knows.
What's the song?
It is "Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree."
Rockin' around. Okay, we can't sing anymore.
Christmas tree. Okay. But Brenda Lee, this is the fact. Brenda Lee was just 13 years old when she recorded the original version of "Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree."
Wow.
13 years 13? old. You would have never guessed. Just
I'd love to know the story behind how that happened.
But it's only facts. It's only facts. So that's all I got for you.
No story, just facts.
Once again, please go watch 14 Peaks. It was fantastic. Thanks for joining us. And remember, don't
wrestle
your
neighbor.
Bye.
Happy Monday.